All right, the evolution of Little Darkie. I think it's interesting that you guys always want me to listen to his music. I think his music's also pretty good. Honestly, it's like really, really good. And I just want to know, where did he start? What's the controversies he's had to deal with, and where is he at now?
Lil Darkie, aka Joshua Hamilton, is one of the most controversial and interesting artists currently. With his unique ideas on race and only wanting to spread peace and positivity, how could
Mm,
someone who only wants to be positive have such a negative stigma and what seems to be a racist character be his mascot? Well, just like any other person on this earth, Joshua can't be understood within just a few seconds. So let's talk
facts.
about his story. This is the evolution of Lil Darkie. Joshua would grow up in Sacramento, California, as well as the
Oh
Bay
man.
Area, moving back and forth for most of his youth. He'd mostly go to school in Oak Grove, where he would say that he couldn't really fit in
Mm,
due to people's understanding of Indian people, and the fact that he didn't act like a basic stereotype confused
mm,
these people.
mm.
This form of indirect and direct bullying would persist throughout Joshua's school years, making him feel even more like an outcast.
Man, that shit really is annoying for me specifically. You know, I was black. I am black. I was going to like majority white schools growing up. So, I inherited, I guess, like the mannerisms and like the vocabulary, cuz you grow up with your environment, right? There's white people that grow up in the hood, they speak hood. There's black people like me that grow up around like white areas, suburban areas. And you just end up getting those mannerisms. So like whenever I went to go like see my family on my dad's side, like they're in North Carolina, so they're like in the country, like the South, right? And whenever I would speak, they like, "Oh, you sound white." Like, "Oh, you sound so proper and white." And I'm like, "I don't really get what you mean. Like, I sound white?" Like, I never understood that. And that was back when I was like 10 or 12. And I'd move around. Like my mom, we'd move to a new place like every 2 years, basically. And just like eventually I ended up moving to like an all like Mexican environment, going to a Hispanic school and stuff like that. And like they're like, "Oh, you sound like a white boy. Like you talk like a white boy. You don't talk like you black." And I was just like, it is what it is. You you get labeled a nerd and all this type of stuff when you black and you don't sound black. You don't sound hood. And like I hear it online. I play video games, so you're like, "Oh, everybody think I'm white." And then like I started making YouTube videos, and then like when I did like a face reveal, people were like, "You're black? Like what?" And it's so fucking annoying that you kind of basically have to fit a stereotype for people to either understand you, which they wouldn't even really be understanding you if you pretended to be something you're not. It's fucking annoying, man. It really is. It's just frustrating for me. Like,
However, when middle school came around, he would join the Boy Scouts, which would make him somewhat of a leader and one.
I remember joining the Boy Scouts. It was like the Weeblos. It's below Boy Scout. And I thought it was cool. And then they just kept wanting you to show up like every weekend to like go to the meetings and stuff. And I was like, "Dude, I just want to go have fun with my friends. I don't want to go to no freaking meeting." And then I quit.
To lead things. This also kind of defined his place and made him feel more comfortable in his skin. And in
Mm,
freshman year, he would start making films, and films quickly became his main focus, always trying to get better at making them. However, towards the end of high school, he would begin rapping, being inspired by artists such as Tyler the Creator, Earl
mm,
Sweatshirt, and the entirety of Odd Future. He was also wanting to be like them because those people were accepted by the
mm,
public and by everybody, and
mm.
him wanting to feel accepted, he felt that since they were accepted, if he was like them, he would be accepted.
Which
He
ain't
was
the
inspired by
case.
Tyler as well because he was from the same area as Tyler. And when he
Mm.
saw old videos of Tyler chilling at places
That he's
that
been to.
Joshua and his friends would chill at, it made him feel like if
He
Tyler
can
can
make
do
it.
it and be from the
Anybody
same
can.
area that
Yep.
I am from, then I can do it as well. Then
Mm.
in 2016, he released a song as his first persona, Brahmin. It is also around this time that Joshua would join the rap collective NCR, as well
Mm.
as Cult and a few others, but the main one that matters is NCR because it had people such as Cubensis. Let's talk more about his first persona, Brahmin. Brahmin is a reference to the Hindu god that is the creator of the universe, and
Mm.
with this persona, Joshua would create music trying to be positive, which is not how he really felt. He would say that his fake positivity just made him more depressed, but as he
Mm.
explored this persona, he began making more aggressive music, such as Santa by Brahmin, which is something very similar to the release under Darky. He actually did a remaster of this song under Darky with the same name. I think the original is better, but that's beside the point. Let's talk about the origins of his supposed racist character. So one day he was drawing Brahmin, and he had messed up Brahmin, but he kind of liked the way he looked, and he began making an idea for a new persona or a new character. He would end up making what we know as Little Darky today. But at first, Darky was blue. But after an acid trip where he saw his face melt into like zero color, it was all black, and finding out that Hindu gods were colored the absence of color
Yeah,
or black
yeah, like Shiva
and
and all
not
them.
blue, he would change this and Little Darky was born. And he would release his first song, No Hands, and after a few songs, he would make Big Wave, which would have the producer Wendigo, who Joshua would become great friends with, making songs with him on the regular. And then on June 23rd, 2018, Joshua would release his first EP as Little Darky, which would be Kill Yourself, under NCR Cartoons. In
Mm.
this album, Joshua would talk about his attempts at suicide with lyrics such as, Kill yourself, you really don't matter, make the glass shatter. And on the same song, Joshua continues to talk about a time in 7th grade where he would jump off his roof and try to kill himself unsuccessfully. He also
Yeah.
talks about his experiences with drugs, specifically magic mushrooms, which have had a huge impact on him, to where he still constantly shows them in his music and references them in his music today. Now let's talk about the early stages of Little Darky. The early stages of Little Darky, he was way more aggressive, and I couldn't ever see him at these early stages making songs such as I Can See Clearly. But you can still see Darky's hate for war and violence and wanting to spread peace in songs such as Get a Stick, which is basically an early version of Don't Tread on Me. And while he released Kill Yourself in 2018, he also released 3 other EPs in that same year, being Shoot People You Don't Like, Kill All Humans, and most importantly, Drain the Swamp, which would have songs such as Posted in the Dark, Drain the Swamp, Shit, in one take. I want to talk about these songs because you can really tell in these songs Darky has improved his flows, he's also defined his sound more, and his lyrics are more expressing about how he feels about certain topics such as politics, haters, race, and love. Shit is also a very atmospheric, and I believe one of the songs that opened up Joshua to trying other genres like we see him do today. And with all these talents, he was about to make a demon of a song that
He makes other genres like what, like rock and roll or like what else? I just know him as a rapper. What else does he make?
would be known as Holocaust. Now, Holocaust was clearly a very controversial song for obvious reasons, even though it wasn't like a huge song at the time. Obviously, later it would be, but whenever at first release, it did okay and it was good for him. But
Mm,
why did he make the song? Because how could somebody who only talks about spreading peace and positivity make a song that is so hateful in manner?
mm.
Well, let's get into that. Just have to think of what his
Man, why'd you get farther away from your mic?
audience was at that time. He's an underground artist. People in the underground love this stuff.
Yeah,
And in an era around like this song came around like 2018, people were talking about
2018.
how
Oh hell yeah, they listening to X and shit like that.
PC culture sucks.
Yep,
People are too soft for things.
yep,
That would do great for him, especially in the underground
hundred
where
percent,
people love this type of stuff.
100%. It's called marketing. You know, you gotta what people want to see, you provide.
However, obviously not everyone was cool with this, especially whenever he started getting some mainstream success.
Mm.
And that would be when Darky would release his sequel to the song Genocide, which would mock these people.
And this
He
shit was
thought that
hard as
all he
fuck.
stood for was being hateful and being
Mm.
racist, and without doing their research on who he really was. However, by him making Genocide, it only made people make more assumptions about him,
Mm.
and people still wouldn't understand Joshua for who he really is.
Yep.
But besides that, Joshua releases album Swamp Drain.
Does he do any interviews? Because if he doesn't do any interviews, that makes it even harder for people to figure out who he is. You and look, as much as you want to say, "Oh man, Lil Darky's really this good guy," and you know he people are just shitting on him, this and that. If he doesn't take the opportunity to express how he really feels, like on an interview on a big platform, then people will just assume stuff, and you can say, "Oh, why are they assuming?" Look, man, people make assumptions every single day. You make assumptions about people without you. Maybe you're not even thinking about it. Like you could walk in the store and you see an overweight guy, and you just be like, "Oh, that guy doesn't go to the gym." Little do you know, he probably started going to the gym 3 days ago. No, people make assumptions left and right. So I don't think it's really unless he goes out to try and explain himself, which he doesn't have to do. You know, you never have to explain yourself, but you can't say, "Oh man, he's being blackballed and not treated right. He's not given a fair chance." People don't get fair chances. This is life. This ain't a movie.
where he would have some very interesting flows on songs like
And
Learning
I
to
like his music. I'm just saying it how it is. Like you want to play ball, sometimes you got to do stuff you don't want to do.
Give a F and I Eat Fungi. On this album, Joshua would continue talking about his issues with things such as race and how he believes race is fake, with lyrics such as "All my friends aren't bums who think you can own a word on a tongue." This album also just really shows Joshua's technical abilities of rapping and like him just trying to prove himself that he's a rapper and he doesn't just yell. Now, let's talk about his blow up. Now, in June of 2020, he would blow up off of Haha on TikTok, where
Mm,
people would begin to find out certain things that he said in songs such as Holocaust,
mm,
where they would attempt to cancel him for these things. This was unsuccessful, as Joshua really didn't care about clout or how people thought about him or anything. Joshua just wants to make his music, and nothing will affect that. However, I feel that how strongly some of these people reacted to certain things that he had said might have made him more mindful and see
mm.
how powerful his words really are.
That's
And he
good. That is good, honestly. Even though you have people saying, "Oh, you're a racist," this and that, for you to be able to take a step back. Okay, what are these people also upset with besides, "Oh, I said the N word here. Oh, I said gas people like smoking gas like it's the Holocaust." Like what do people actually think? And for him to have that introspection, look inside himself and just say, "Okay, maybe I shouldn't say this and that." My words actually have power. That's actually smart. It's good for him to do that instead of just saying, "Oh no, I just make my music for me." Whatever you do is on you. That's very um, ignorant for a lot of artists to do. A lot of artists are like, "Oh man, I just make my music for me." If you listen to it, cool, but don't think that I have some type of influence on you, which it's not true. You know, I remember seeing this video of Lil Wayne talking about, "Oh, everybody want to sip now." You know, Lil Wayne was the first person of like high standing in the music industry to have two cups and sip lean. Couple years later, like, 8, 10, 12 years later, all the new generation of rappers sipping on lean, doing drugs. Lil Wayne says, "Man, I wasn't doing it to be cool. I was just doing it because it was me." Now everybody want to do it because they think it's cool. And he's like, "Why? Why do you sip lean?" The reason why people were sipping lean is because you was sipping lean. Lil Wayne, number one rapper for like shit, like damn near a decade. Number one rapper, Lil Wayne. What's Lil Wayne doing? Smoking weed, talking about fucking, sipping lean. So people, all the kids growing up listening to your music, want to do what you do. That's how influence works. Regardless if you want to say, "Nah, I just make my music for me. It's up to people to do." Kids are dumb. Kids will do whatever whoever they believe in, they will follow their example. There's a reason why the little brother always look up to the big brother. Like that, it's influence, bruh. Like if you look up to somebody, you're gonna want to be like them. It's normal. So for Lil Darkie to say, "Okay, maybe I shouldn't be as crazy and as reckless with my music," that's dope. I respect that a lot.
would take this quote unquote cancel as a mostly positive experience. And so
Hmm.
now, because
That's
people
good.
tried to cancel him, a lot of more people knew about him, and a lot of people started messing with his music because they
Hmm.
learned about him through this cancel of him. Now, let's talk about what Joshua thinks currently on songs such as Genocide and Holocaust. He said he thinks these songs are cringe. Well, because they are.
Mm.
These songs are just edgy for the sake of being edgy.
Hmm.
There's no real point to them. They just feel like some song a 13-year-old kid who's just trying to be edgy and impress his friends would make. Except, like, I guess a few bits of Genocide. Like, the later parts are, it's just a normal song. But moving on, it is also in this same month that he would delete songs that he thought either didn't fit him or he thought they were cringe. This would include songs such as Bong Rip, and I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't find any others. I know there are some more songs that he deleted, I just don't know which ones he deleted. Then in the year of 2020, he would release 3 different albums, being This Does Not Exist, Yin, and Swamp. Here's the most notable things from each album. Rap music would get an absolute banger of a video. It's so great. Everybody knows it. It's great. And it would also get him some epic clout tokens since it did pretty well. Yin would have Whoop, which also has a cool music video, and it's also just my personal favorite song. And then Swamp, which at the time was completely different from anything that Darkie had released or even tried, with songs that would have epic riffs and altogether a way heavier sound, with song titles such as Grinding a politician's skull into a fine powder. Like, bro, what?
Wow.
And bar fight music, which is it's just a banger. The album also had more slow songs such as I Can See Clearly Now and I Don't Know. This album altogether was a huge step in the right direction for Darkie and had a wide range of sounds, and he was really just experimenting on this album. However, not all was good for Darkie. On February 18th, 2020, he would release this song called Imperfect, which would show the Buddhist swastika, which is a sign of peace. However, SoundCloud and Spotify didn't see this, and this song would get taken down, forcing Joshua to re-upload the song with a different artwork. This was very crushing for him, but had no long-term damage for him or his career. And that brings us to current day, where Joshua still gets hate for his character. It's called racist, homophobic, anything.
I love how he's driving in the
Joshua still gets hate for his character. It's called racist.
That's funny as fuck. The Volkswagen, bro. A lot of people, maybe y'all know this or not, but Volkswagen was working with the Nazis back when World War II was kicking off. A lot of companies were as well. Coca-Cola themselves, like corporate Coca-Cola, wasn't really working with the Nazis, but there was a guy who owned a Coca-Cola branch in Germany, and then they like had to take the products out, so they started doing like using literal garbage from fruit and turn it into Fanta, and then Coca-Cola Fanta. It's a lot, man. You guys got to do your own research in that, but that's very interesting. He's riding around the Volkswagen.
Homophobic, anything, and his vocabulary as well is quite, people don't like it. And quite recently, I believe due to him seeing how the Holocaust artwork may be misconstrued, he has changed the artwork into something that I think is very respectful and shows his true character, that he's not an evil person and he's not what people say he is. He continues to release more and more experimental music, with his newest album Boraus being released and his newest EP,
Is it out?
Small Dark One, being released, which had a really good energy. It's fire, bro.
Okay, it is out.
But one thing that anybody can see in his newer work is that he has come a far, far way from songs such as Genocide and Holocaust. And he will still continue to grow as a person and as an artist.
That's dope. I respect it, bro. That's some real shit. I'm gonna hit the video with a like. That was dope. A lot of introspection on that one, but it's your boy Miss. Comment, subscribe. It was very dope to see where he came from, because when I was introduced to a video about Lil Darkie, it's kind of similar to this. I didn't know the backstory. I saw the character and I was like, oh, what is this, some racist shit? Or is it really something that's not racist, but it looks racist on the outside in? And I gave it a chance. And I don't regret my decision. The Darkie fans, they want me to listen to his music. I listen to it. I think it's pretty entertaining. Some of it's really good. Some of it's like, well, I can't really understand it. I don't really fuck with it. But it's good to get this backstory. And it's good to see that he's actually going a long way. He's doing stuff differently. And he's growing. So it's dope. Thank you for this video, Remedy. Dope. I like the baby art right here, even though it's probably not the baby, but maybe it is. I don't know. But I'll see you guys next time. Peace.